Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Barber, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
Radical liberal Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg brings shame to America and further shame upon the United States Supreme Court by officiating a so-called same-sex marriage. Hi, I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action. Joining me again in studio today is Daniel Schmid, Litigation Counsel with Liberty Counsel. Well, as if there was any question about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's liberal bias on the highest court in the land, that has been put to rest now. She has, according to the AP and the Washington Post, now been the first United States Supreme Court justice to officiate over a counterfeit same-sex wedding at the Kennedy Center, of all places, in Washington, D.C. I guess from now on she'll recuse herself on any cases involving DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, or homosexual issues, right?
Well, I doubt that, Matt. But doesn't this just prove that we're no longer slouching towards Gomorrah? We are galloping full speed ahead towards it. And isn't that a shame? It was a wrong decision when it was decided. It will always be wrong. It is not within the nature of government, whether it be federal or state government, to define what marriage is. It is outside the realm of government. It has always been and will always be one man and one woman. And so even with the Supreme Court of the United States saying that it's okay, it's not okay. And it's a shame that our own justices would, lend credence to such a ceremony and such an abomination, really.
Well, and we've pointed out since Justice Kennedy, the swing vote on a 5-4 decision overturning Section 3 of the Defense of Marriage Act, essentially divining from thin air a federal right for recognition of same-sex marriages in states that recognize same-sex marriage. Well, we shouldn't be surprised that now the Obama administration has taken that ball and run with it, even beyond the narrow tailoring of the decision, which would only, for federal purposes, recognize same-sex marriage within states that themselves recognize same-sex marriage. President Obama, the Obama administration, the IRS, will now grant the rights for joint filing, and will essentially, in all 50 states, will be treating so-called same-sex marriage as the law of the land. We knew it was going to come, but as Matt Barber, chairman and founder of Liberty Counsel, pointed out after this ruling, this is another Roe v. Wade. This is another Dred Scott. Essentially, this is another Buck v. Bell. The Supreme Court has delegitimized itself with this decision. You can no more arbitrarily rule from the Supreme Court against the laws of gravity, then can you rule that marriage is something that it has never before been, yet the High Court presumes to have done just this. Now Ruth Bader Ginsburg has further delegitimized at least her role on the court and any a question as to whether or not she is objective and intends to be an arbiter of the law. That's out the window now, with her putting herself out proud and loud publicly, putting her stamp of approval by officiating a same-sex wedding. It's a sad state of affairs in America.
It is, really, and on this issue particularly, haven't most of the judges in these cases detached themselves from what we would say they're supposed to be, which is a neutral and detached arbiter, and have become essentially activists in this type of case. So not only do you have a stacked deck in the courts when we litigate these issues, you have almost a full-throated advocate against you ruling on the case that you're arguing before them. It is a sad state of affairs. And you go back to what you were saying just a minute ago with the Obama administration, implementing this, with a broad reach here. I mean, it's sad. And the truth of the matter is they only struck down one aspect of DOMA. And so they're violating now Section 3 of DOMA, or Section 4,
Section
I believe.
2,
which is the
full faith and
credit
right.
section, yes, which we would say, I think, rightly so, that even defining marriage at the state level is, the definition of marriage is one man, one woman.
Yeah.
It cannot be changed. But now the administration is running roughshod over these other sections that haven't been declared unconstitutional, and now is imposing the will of only a few states, I think 13 if you include the District of Columbia,
Right.
On the rest of the country, where it has been resoundingly defeated every time it's come up for a vote. So when it goes to the populace, it is, we don't agree with it and we don't endorse it. But when you go to the courts and you get Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you lose.
We shouldn't be surprised, though, because that's in keeping with her view of jurisprudence. She is definitely not a strict construction. She's on record as saying essentially that the United States Constitution is archaic, and when she was referring to I believe it was Egypt, and they're constructing a new Constitution, she recommended to them publicly, I wouldn't look to the U.S. Constitution. It's too old. Look to South Africa or Canada. Or she embraces that living, breathing view of the Constitution, that it is whatever we say it is whatever we feel like it should be. We're going to apply it in order to fit within our own ideological parameters. That's not what the Founding Fathers intended. And in any land that views the Constitution as everything and anything, depending on the changing whims of the day, that is not a constitutional republic. That's a banana republic, and that's what we have devolved into now from this judicial philosophy. And people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and those who embrace it, they're activists. They're radical, postmodern, liberal activists that are pushing a radical agenda on the rest of America.
That's right, and maybe there's some truth in what she said about the Constitution if you view it the way that she does, because if you view it as ever-changing and it is what we say it is, and every June we find out what constitutional rights we just got or what constitutional rights we just lost, then we've stepped outside of the rule of law. Famously in an old Supreme Court opinion, I think the first Chief Justice, John Marshall, said, "We are a nation of laws, not men." Well, under this type of thinking and this view of the Constitution, we are a nation of men and not laws. And so it becomes dangerous in that type of context because, like I said, then every June or January we sit and wait for 9 people to tell us what right we just received that we've never had, that doesn't exist anywhere in the history of mankind, or what right that has been so ingrained in our Constitution and in the fabric of this nation that we just lost. It's insane.
Well, I think it was Chief Justice Hughes, I believe, that said, kind of articulated best, I think, this Ginsburg view of jurisprudence. He said that, yes, we have a Constitution, but the Constitution is whatever the judges say it is. Well, that's chaos. That means the Constitution is nothing at all. And that's what is happening to America right now. We are a nation where the Constitution is meaningless, it's malleable, it's changeable based on whoever's in control, in this case, progressives, and that's the progressive so-called mindset that we're going to use it to essentially affect our radical change, San Francisco-style values on the rest of America.
Yeah, and that's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
It really is. When, it used to be when you would litigate these cases, you would throw your anchor to the rule of law. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about this. Well, when you're sliding down a slippery slope, as we seem to be, you used to throw your anchor to the rule of law. Well, if the rule of law is no more, and the Constitution is whatever we say it is, and every June we change what it says, then what do you throw your anchor to? And the only thing, and I guess as Christians we are lucky because our anchor holds, and we can throw it to our anchor, knowing that He will intervene when He deems fit.
Amen, brother. Well, you said it well, galloping toward Gomorrah. We're not just slouching toward Gomorrah as a nation. We are galloping toward Gomorrah. Folks, be in prayer. We need to be in prayer for our nation. We've seen that a federal recognition of same-sex marriage essentially results in the criminalization of Christianity. If you hold a biblical view of human sexual morality and the biblical view of marriage, you better not say so publicly, or you will suffer the full weight of the federal government. That's where we're headed. Liberty Counsel, we're holding the front line. We're going to continue to do the best we can with your help. Go to lc.org or give us a call, 1-800-671-1776. Stand with us as we stand for natural family and natural marriage.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.